The fight for air supremacy has never been just about who flies the fastest. Above all, it is a story of hard choices, risky bets, and mistakes that came at a high price. In the sky, there is no room for harmless testing. Every engineering decision, every doctrine adopted, and every belief defended turns into lives at risk and wars decided in seconds. That is why some aircraft are more than machines. They become symbols of an era. Today, we are going back in time to understand how the United States built its air dominance not only through victories, but through failures that taught brutal lessons in real combat. And no aircraft represents this truth better than the F-4 Phantom II. A fighter that was born as an absolute promise, became a frustration in combat, and paradoxically shaped American air supremacy. Throughout this script, you will see that the evolution of fighter jets does not follow a straight line of success. It is shaped by collisions with reality and unforgiving battle conditions. Every new aircraft emerges as a direct response to the mistakes of the previous one. Speed, maneuverability, stealth, sensors, and tactics do not appear out of nowhere. They are scars turned into innovation. What looked like an unforgivable mistake in the 1960s became a survival manual for air combat in the decades that followed. Understanding this sequence is understanding why the United States reached its current position. Dominating the skies was never about perfection, but learning faster than the enemy. Plate 1. McDonnell Douglas F-4 Phantom II, Mach 2.23. When the Phantom appeared, it looked unstoppable. Fast, powerful, breaking records for speed, climb, and altitude. Designed as the ultimate answer to Cold War threats, it became the spearhead of the Air Force, Navy, and Marine Corps. One fighter, multiple services, one clear promise. But real war does not respect promises. In Vietnam, the F-4 faced an enemy that refused to fight by the manuals and forced chaotic close-range dogfights. That is where the mistake became clear. The Phantom was built on the belief that long-range missiles would dominate future air combat entirely. It had no internal gun and relied on technology that was not ready. The result was tragic. Skilled pilots in fast machines were shot down in close combat. Real combat demanded maneuverability and flexibility the design had ignored. The shock was devastating, but also transformative for American air combat doctrine. The F-4 did not fail in vain. It revealed a brutal truth. Speed without maneuverability, sensors, and doctrine does not guarantee air superiority. The Phantom paid the price so future fighters would not repeat the same mistake. Amid losses, American air combat thinking began to change forever. Plate 2. Lockheed Martin F-22 Raptor, Mach 2.25. At first glance, it does not impress with speed, and that is exactly the point of its design philosophy. The F-22 does not race to win. It arrives unseen, strikes before detection, and leaves before the enemy understands what happened. It is the opposite of the Phantom. Where the F-4 bet on speed and missiles, the F-22 bets on stealth, awareness, and battlespace control. Supercruise enables sustained supersonic flight. Extreme maneuverability ensures dominance if the fight gets close. Lessons learned with blood, made real. Plate 3. Grumman F-14 Tomcat, Mach 2.34. Born from the trauma of Vietnam, it was built to see far, intercept fast, and win before enemies closed in. Operating from carriers, it had to be brutal and precise. It succeeded, becoming an icon not just for performance but for crew confidence. But there was a cost. The F-14 was complex, expensive, and difficult to maintain in the harsh maritime environment. Its retirement came not from weakness in combat, but from logistical reality. Even legends must balance performance, cost, and sustainability. The final revelation sits at the top of this chain. The General Dynamics F-111 Aardvark, Mach 2.5, proved that versatility is also power. It was fast, capable of low-level penetration, and served for decades in multiple roles. Not glamorous, but undeniably effective. Then comes the Boeing F-15 Eagle, Mach 2.5+, the king of speed, with over 100 air-to-air victories and no combat losses. The F-15 is where speed, maneuverability, sensors, and doctrine finally align. It was born from lessons learned, not blind optimism. From Phantom to Tomcat, from Aardvark to Raptor, every failure became a stepping stone toward dominance in the skies. The lesson is ruthless and simple. Air supremacy is not born from perfection, but from learning fast and adapting before the enemy does. Speed matters, but it does not win wars alone. What wins is the integration of technology, strategy, and real combat experience. Now the question remains, which of these fighters had the greatest impact on modern air combat doctrine? Leave a comment and join the discussion.